And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, that's Josh the Punk Thompson. I am John McCarthy, and we are the Weighing In Podcast, and we are coming to you kind of live from Paris, France, because we were here for Bellator. And we have been watching fights all night long. We've been up the entire night, but man, I'm telling you, we have had a great time here in Paris. We've been all over. We've done it all.
We're falling in love with the line bikes. The line bikes are absolutely amazing. We have Bird and Lime in the Bay Area. The weather's been outstanding. I came here back in like 08 or 09, I think it was. And the weather was cold and rainy, and that seems to be common around here. But this trip has been really nice. Walking around, short sleeves. People have been really nice this time around. The first time I came, they were not nice. Everyone here has been outstanding. The service has been good. The food has been good. People have been great. It's been amazing. I've also
experienced, and the city's great.
It's been a different version.
You know why?
It's been a different version. Yeah.
You know why?
Because I'm here with you.
That's right.
That's right.
Let's just be honest. You got to look at the differences, and the differences. I wasn't there the first trip. Yeah. Now I'm here. Look at what's happening.
John, I got to be honest though. You said we were up all night.
Well,
I was not up all night.
One of us was up all night.
I'm sorry, guys. There was a couple fights that put me to sleep. Just being honest.
A couple fights were like a bottle of NyQuil.
It was 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I was just trying to get my eyes open. It was, Look, I don't want to take anything away from the talent that we saw. They're amazing fighters. Just sometimes, it just doesn't work for you that night, and I get it. Look, we had one in Bellator, and like I said, the main event for Bellator had me doing the same thing, and I was in the arena. But the card was good itself, and the same thing with the UFC. UFC had some really good, outstanding fights.
Well, they had some good fights.
But then they had a couple that were just doing the same thing.
Let's just be honest. The one, which is a championship fight, was horrible, and no one can sit there and say it was anything. The announcers, Joe Rogan and Cormier and John, they're all saying, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. But I mean, look, let's get back. Let's talk a little bit more about our trip.
Okay,
let's give you guys some stories.
Did you get any crepes?
What?
Crepes? Did I eat some crepes? I've eaten some crepes. I've had the crepe.
Yeah, see, I'm not a crepe guy, man.
Yeah.
They have big ones here that I do the.
Yeah, but they stuff them with stuff.
Yeah, they stuff them with bananas, Nutella, all that stuff.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, see, I mean, like I've already started running for my 6-minute mile. So I was like, yeah, give me a couple weeks. When I get back, I'm gonna just prove to Dave that it can be done.
We also sat at the Sir Winston Churchill pub, which took and put another 2 weeks of time onto Josh being able to reach that 6-minute.
Yes, he did.
That's the beers that he was putting down.
I was putting them down. Hey, look, when you were, I don't even know how you say the name, the
Arc de Triomphe.
There you go, that name. Okay, we were sitting right across. That's where the Winston Churchill.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome. You could see it from there. It was awesome. Weather was beautiful. People were nice. Our server there was great. He was awesome. Anyways, but it's hilarious. Everyone is waiting that we're here with, right? They're all waiting for Ubers, and John and I have been on the line bikes the whole time, just cruising through Paris. It's been funny. We're beating them at all these locations. We're getting there first. They're still waiting. Like, we came from the Eiffel Tower that one night. That was hilarious, by the way.
We came from the Eiffel Tower at 1:30 in the morning. We are on line bikes with these little tiny freaking lights and stuff. And that one was a little bit, because there were a couple of bumps and things that we hit.
You mean the cobblestone?
Oh my God, man!
Rattles your nuts?
It doesn't rattle your nuts. It crushes your nuts. I am telling you right now, do not ride a bike on cobblestones in the dark. It will definitely alter your life. I think that the French actually do this as a form of birth control.
It was so horrible. Good. See, the funny part, you must have big nuts, because it didn't hurt me at all. I had no problems whatsoever.
Horrible.
But yeah, it does get a little bumpy. But look, we've been able to see some beautiful sights, man. We went by the Louvre. We went, where else we go? We went to, obviously, the Eiffel Tower. We've been to the Eiffel Tower a couple times, different camera
Notre
angles.
Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame. We went
Which
by
is
there.
kind of all
it's all blocked off because it's redone, because of the fire. But overall, it's been a good trip. We're here, until Monday. We leave here Monday. Then we go to London, which is tomorrow, right?
Which is tomorrow.
Monday is tomorrow. And then we go to London. We'll be in London. We'll actually be in Wembley. So people keep...
Yeah, but we're going to go to London.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we are.
I'm always going to go.
There we go. Yeah,
Piccadilly Square.
all right. See?
Did you say you're taking a train to London?
Yeah, you can take the train.
You
It's an
take-
easy
oh,
train,
take
too.
the train.
Yeah,
It's
it's
no
an
big
easy train.
It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Dave, if you ever want to come out here, I'll show you around, okay?
Yeah, right.
But I want someone to say, like, it's so great that I've got like this burning hole in my pocket of money. It's so nice. Those of you guys that didn't get was it last show?
Yeah.
It was last show for the weighing in on the odds. Go back and watch our last show. Josh Thompson is right again about the main event. Okay, I was right about Islam.
Excuse me, Tio Ortiz. Now you're going into the
right
third
again
person.
About Josh Thompson was right again about Islam Makhachev, Bobby Green.
Dude, don't go back that far.
I was right.
Okay,
I was
it
right.
takes you that long ago to actually be right again.
You interrupted me. And so now I was once again right about this fight. This was a great fight. But I love that I have more money in my pocket.
Okay, but let's just be honest about it. See, you didn't even remember.
I didn't.
So I would, if it would have been today, I would come to you and say, hey, where's my money? You go, I didn't fucking bet.
John starts.
I am always honest, and if I lose the bet, which I did, he stopped him in the first round. I will pay off on the bet.
Yeah, it was. But here, John started. We're sitting there having coffee in the morning, and John starts counting out American money. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, and then at the end, he pulls out 100. He's like, "Oh, I owe you this." And I was like, "For what?" I was like, "That's for what?" Oh, you're a good man, my friend.
I lost. You got it, man. You called it on that one. You said first round.
I don't care.
It's okay. They can say it. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I love it. All right. Well, hey, let's break right into it. Let's go with Bellator first, only because it was on Friday, not because we're homers. Okay, we're gonna talk. We're gonna go in order. We'll go Bellator first. We'll talk a little bit about the PFL. Was PFL on Thursday?
It was Friday too.
It was Friday also. So we'll go Bellator. We'll go a little bit of the PFL. I didn't get a chance to watch a lot. I watched the Julia Budd fight, and then I watched a little bit of the Kayla Harris fight. I didn't get to see Roy McDonald. The time change really is getting me. And the time changes and the way the fights are scheduled has really interrupted my drinking. So I'm really trying to just want you guys to know. It's drink, watch the fights, but hey.
But you know what's so weird about and this is kind of off topic. But
you off topic? Never.
I know, can you believe it? But here in France, had the Bellator. The UFC is coming here. France now has some really good fighters and guys that are really, and obviously guys like Cyril Gane, but guys that are really on the upswing and everything. Mm-hmm. How many things did you hear about the UFC here?
None.
Zero.
It was weird. But here's the thing. The same thing, though. Some of the people we ran
into couldn't even get it here.
Yeah, some of the people we were, I couldn't get it.
We couldn't get the prelims.
We couldn't get the prelims on the ESPN
because the ESPN app, ours says, I pay for ESPN. I pay for it. And it says, you cannot use this in this region. I'm like, what the hell am I paying for?
Yeah. But I didn't get it. I couldn't. So
couldn't go to any kind of bar or anything to watch the fights. It's just kind of odd because I'm so used to, when we go somewhere, man, you can see the fights and you see posters for the UFC. You see posters if it's Bellator's there. You see all these different things.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, which is strange because it seems like it's a real hotbed for the sport right now. The arena was sold out for Bellator. Yeah. And their fighters like Davy Gallon and Landu, who else? Gregory. How do you say his name? Babin. Like those three guys, and even Giada, they all got huge standing ovations. Especially Landu with his breakdancing at the end. Good fight also too by him. But then Gregory with a great finish as well. I mean, like the crowd went nuts. I mean, outside of Landu got a really a big standing ovation.
Huge pop.
The other guy who got the biggest ovation though,
Yoel Romero.
And here's the thing, John, I was kind of questioning. I go, look, if he loses this fight to Alex Polizzi, does Bellator keep him? I'm like, because he's a lot of money.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest. He's a lot of money, and I'm thinking. But then when I had talked to some people, he's like, yeah, we keep him, and I'm like, okay. Then he fights. He has a great performance. I said I've already made this very clear. This Yoel, not the one that fought Phil Davis, not the one that I feel now after watching his performance now at 205, not the one that I think tried to put on the weight too much.
Yep.
And just looked soft. Didn't look like the same.
Well, you even said before the fight
Yeah.
started, you came over and you're looking, you go, hey, look at him. I go, yeah, he looks good. And you go, he looks fucking ripped.
Yeah.
And there was a difference.
Yep. Because when we saw him, he was still cutting weight for the fighter meetings the day before weigh-ins. He was soaking wet in the fighter meetings. And you weren't there, so you wouldn't know. But
that's because my flight wouldn't wouldn't bring me.
Because
I was late again.
Yeah,
I'm never late.
John's pretty much always there. But it really just came down to he was sweating. He looked a little sucked in. I was like, okay, maybe he's having a hard time with the weight cut. But then when I saw him at the weigh-ins, I was like, okay, he looks good, but he still looked a little sucked. And I was like, but then when he was able to get some food in him, he filled out. But he filled out and was still lean. Some guys fill out and they get a little soft. They have that soft look to them. And he didn't have it.
No, he looked like
I saw the veins in his shoulders. I saw
He looked like a fucking battleship.
Yeah, he looked good in this fight. He looked everything about him looked good in this fight. And I also hate when guys are built like him, Greek gods, and then they wear Muay Thai shorts.
Yeah. Well, he did that the last one.
And then they have shitty performances. They drive me nuts.
You think it's because of the Muay Thai shorts?
Yeah,
Is that
I actually do. You know who else did that shit? Was Benson Henderson used to do that for a little bit.
Really?
He'd come in, I think he'd wear.
I don't remember Benson wearing Muay Thai shorts.
I was like, bro, you're like, he's so flexible. He's got big legs. I'm like, if I had big legs, I would always wear like the
compression shorts?
Yeah, the small compression shorts. Hell yeah. Like, yo, everyone look at my legs. Like, Yoel is just, anyways. He was fast. He was explosive. He outside of, like I said, Ladu, he got the biggest ovation. You know, absolutely just, you can see that is the Yoel Romero that Bellator was hoping to sign. And I think that he's put the weight on properly and he's carrying it well. At 205, he's going to be a fucking problem.
He is,
I can't believe he ever made 185.
It's crazy. It's crazy he was killing himself to make 185. But you look at it, and it's all you do when you watch Yoel Romero is you wait. You're waiting for those moments of explosion, because when he decides to go, it's like, holy shit. I mean, because good fighters just like start to wilt under the attack of the speed, the power, everything he does. You know, when I did his fight with Lyoto Machida, he stood up with Lyoto for the first 2 rounds, and then in the beginning of the third, just decides, I'm just going to take him down. Takes him down. Oh, done. And you go, why are you staying out there that long when this is what you can do? And he can. The dude is just remarkably gifted as far as an athlete.
There were some people that were on Twitter and going, "Hey, how come the ref didn't stop the fight?" And I said, "Oh, you guys got to watch the show." And here the show is now, and we're going to talk about that. The reason why
there's a couple in there we got to talk about.
Yeah,
you were putting people down. That's your job?
We're just not here to sugarcoat things. But this is why, and I'll give you a reason. Is that every time he heard him, he stopped and backed away.
That's horrible.
Gave him time, and John will go ahead, John. This is your area.
No,
expertise.
It's just you're looking for those moments when you know a guy is taking big shots and he's hurt, but he's trying, but he keeps on taking more, and so this is where you're looking for a moment where you can get him out of the fight. So it looks, like, hey, yes, you should have stopped it there. He couldn't take any more. He's just covering all those, and you'll get most fighters when they hurt someone, they go after them, and they give you that moment that you can make that decision. And Yoel is one of those guys, and there's other guys out there that they're like a kid playing. They've caught a butterfly or a fly, and I know it's not nice, but they're pulling the wings off one by one. And you're just like, they stop. They hurt him, and let me back off. And they take away that moment that you can go in and basically stop it, because now they're not engaging. They're not hurting the person. The person has time to actually try to recover. So you've got to let the person stay in the fight. And I'm just telling you, it's a horrible feeling when you're the referee inside, when someone's doing that. It's like, and you're going, you son of a bitch, because you're looking, hey, let me get this guy out of here. You're beating him bad. And they take it away from your ability to do it. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating as hell.
Well, so that also helps want to touch on that. But there were some other questions as well that people would hit me up on Twitter. And they said, well, how come, why did the fight if you guys watched the first 2 prelims, they were absolutely just insane, crazy fights. One person gets dropped, gets back up, comes back, drops the other person, back and forth in the whole fight. It was just a great, both first 2 fights of the prelims. If you guys haven't had a chance, go to the Bellator YouTube channel. You guys can check it out. The first 2 fights in the prelim were just slobber knockers, just back and forth, just barn burners, great fights. But in the second fight, it looked like to be an early stoppage. I even said it on air. Yeah. I said, hey, I go, this was an early stoppage. The guy was still coming forward. He was rocked, but he had the stanky leg. One leg was stiff. He couldn't walk. Had a little bit of that Kevin Lee Barboza. Remember? Because Barboza kicked him across the top of the head and he went stanky leg on him, you know. But in the first 2 fights, in that second fight, he's stanky leg, but he's still swinging and he's still trying to like fight.
And he had done well up to that point.
And he was winning the fight, I think, up until that point until he got rocked. And they said, and I told Brian Miner, because Brian Miner was the ref, and he came up to me. I said bad stoppage. He's like, no. And then he sat down with me, and John and I do this all the time, just so you guys are aware. Like, I am a very, and I understand, I'm kind of an arrogant person. And so when we have these conversations, I ask a ton of questions. And I said, hey, why was that? Why do you think it wasn't a bad stoppage? And he goes, look, if it was a main event, because I said, I go, if this was a title fight, he's, oh, no, you have to let that go if it's a title fight. He's like, but when you got young guys that are opening the card, he's like, I don't need to see the nail in the coffin. A guy is young, he's 22, 21, 24, 26, young in his career, only has 3 fights. Why do I want to see him get knocked out, face down, ass up, and potentially ruin his career? You know, this kid could have a bright future. He was undefeated. I think he was 2-0 or 3-0 at the time, but he has a bright future. Yeah, so why have him get knocked out and destroyed and maybe ruin his career or a bright future for him when I could get him out of there? He goes back to the drawing board, comes back and gets a win. That could work. And I started thinking about, I'm like, yeah, he's like, if it's a title fight, I'd let it go. He's like, I have to let it go. And, you know, and then even for guys that if it's not a title fight, if you're a main event fighter, if you're someone that I've known, you've got 20 fights, 30 fights, and I've seen you fight hundreds of times, or I've seen you fight 20 times, I've seen you in there.
Come out of those positions.
And I know what you can do, and you're on the main card. He's like, you're on the main card for a reason. He's like, these guys are opening the show. So that makes a little bit more sense. And when John's famous lines are, you can't ref every fight the same way. You have to treat them differently because they're different people. Different fighters fight at different levels, and they can only take so much damage. And you don't know what the damage can be, so save them when you can, and if they're young in their career.
You said that actually very well. I'm very proud of you.
Right.
You are learning, man.
Right.
You know what?
Believe it or not, I'm a smart guy outside of math. Okay. I can't spell either, but
no, you know, everything you said was exactly right, and it's, you know, when I'll tell people, look, you cannot ref all fights the same. It is different, and when a fighter is in a position to be on the main card, because now they're in that position to move up towards getting that title shot, you got to let them go as far as you can let them go. Mm-hmm. But when you have a young fighter, and look, that kid got stanky legged, went down. Mm-hmm. I mean, stanky leg bad. Got himself up, but was still really bad, right? And went down on his own without really being touched again because he couldn't control his body. And as he got up, the guy came in and landed one shot, and Brian stopped it. And you look and you go, that's a good stoppage. At this point in that young man's career, with what this fight means, yes, he wants to win it. Yes, it's important to him. But in the big picture of what is going on here, this is a minor blip. They saw that he was doing very well. They're going to have him fight again because of the way that he was fighting. He just got clipped with a shot that his body wasn't able to recover from fast enough for him to be able to intelligently defend himself, and so he got him out of there. Because
the next example is what we just came off of, was Yoel and Polizzi. Polizzi's been in the main card. Yeah. Yoel's been in the main card. He let that fight go on, but Yoel didn't make it easy because he kept stepping away every time he rocked him. Sure, the ref was looking for ways to get him out of there. He just never had a solid moment to step in and say, hey, because Yoel kept backing away after he rocked him. Polizzi broke his jaw, I think, in the beginning of the third. Yeah. The middle of the third, he broke his jaw and he continued to fight.
Last round.
Yeah, just the kid's, he's too tough.
Too tough for his own good.
Own good, yeah.
You know, and these are the ones you look at and you go, okay, you know, and I'll ask you as the fighter, you get hurt. Mm-hmm. What is it that you should do? You have certain things that you have available to you. One is that we try to clinch. One is that we try to gain space and move away and circle out and just get some time. Another is we bite down on our mouthpiece, we stand our ground, and we start slinging back. So which one is the one that's the smartest?
Well, it really depends on the person you're fighting.
Okay.
Okay. If
Which
I'm fighting
one is
Yoel
the
Romero,
smartest?
if I'm fighting Yoel
Okay, there you
Romero,
go.
I'm not trying to clinch with him.
No, so what are you doing?
Circling and staying away.
Exactly, okay? Do you think the referee in there knows exactly what you should be doing against that guy?
Should.
Should.
Yeah, he should.
He
He
should.
did his homework.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's looking to see, are you doing the things that are showing that you are using your brain the right way?
Yeah.
When you do the two things of, and they'll even give you, okay, try to clinch with him. Okay, it's probably not going to be successful, but it's going to close the distance for you being hurt. But the last thing that they're going to look and say, you try to bite down on the mouthpiece and sling, it's telling them there's nothing really working. You're just going off of what you've trained to do over all this time, and your body's reacting. Because we have the saying, your body will readily go where your mind's already been. And when you've been in those positions that you've been hurt, and you have certain things that you do, and if you're the guy that bites down and slings, that's the one that the referee's going to be closer towards stopping than the guy that's using his head of trying to gain distance or at least clinch up. It's all in the way you look at how that fight's going.
But overall, great performance by Yoel Romero. That one's going to be a problem. You put him against you put that Yoel Romero against Corey Anderson, Nemkov. I think it ends up being a problem. I don't want to take too much away from Phil Davis's performance against him, but that was not the same Yoel Romero that fought Phil Davis.
No, and also, I know it's a weird thing to say, and it seems like, oh, come on. Look, Yoel Romero thought it was a 5-round fight. He did,
but his body still didn't look that.
I'm not saying,
that.
I'm not saying if it was a 5-round fight, Phil Davis wouldn't have still gotten the win, but it was a split decision. I didn't agree with that. I thought Phil Davis won it, but Yoel had been fighting mostly all 5-round fights for the most part.
I also want to go back to the fact that, when I was like, I was pleased he's a good wrestler, he's this and that, he's also not Phil Davis's level of wrestling. No. And that if you go back and watch that Phil Davis fight with Yoel Romero, the timing on Phil Davis's takedowns was some of the best timing I've seen from Phil Davis ever in his career.
Yep.
The timing off the striking, boom, boom, ducked under, beautiful double legs. Got some great transitions in that fight. Locked the hands against the fence, lift and slam. He never even got close. No. He didn't even sniff a fucking leg or a takedown.
He got stonewalls every time. And some of them were just like, damn. Yeah, even him hitting into Yoel, it hurt. Hurt Alex. I was like, oh no.
Like riding a line bike on cobblestone.
Yeah. Well, we did have a young woman who's kind of on a scooter by us.
Oh, geez. John. Okay, so John's in front of me. Dave, podcast
through the middle of traffic.
So we're driving in the middle of traffic. Okay, the bus is in the right lane because it's close to the curb,
which is where the bike lane is too.
Where the bike lane is too. So we're right between, between the car and the bus. So we're in the middle of the road and we're riding. She comes in. We're on bikes, and she comes in on a scooter, like a Lime scooter. And she's next to me, and I could tell that because the bus is going to start to slow down because there's a stop.
And I circle around the far outside car to cut back in.
So he goes around the bus, and she comes in, and I'm like, and I can see the bus is going to start slowing down, so I let her go in front of me. She starts to go in front of me, and she looks over to the left, and the fucking bus stops. She runs right into the back of the bus.
Oh my God.
I swear to you, it was like the scooter hit her in the butt. The back of the scooter hit her in the ass, and her face hit the back of the bus, and she spun flying. I was like, oh my God. She had like a shoulder strap, like backpack, one of those, I don't know, like a
laptop bags or whatever.
Yeah, something like that she had too. Shit went flying everywhere. Cars in there, she had to pick it up. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you all right? Yeah, she got up speaking French, and it was a lot of words.
It is awesome to hear a person that speaks French cuss because it sounds elegant.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
So funny.
Just telling you.
She was pissed. And then she got back on. I was like, you okay? She said, yes, I'm okay. But then she was saying a lot of things in French.
Josh being the gentleman stopping.
I did stop.
John McCarthy just moving on.
John was just gone. Didn't even look back. No man left behind. Shit, no man not apply to John. I've got more stories. More stories about that, by the way.
Hey, I went back for you. You weren't there.
Yeah, whatever.
You could see on my little
You
thing.
left
the
me for
circle.
so long that I tried 4 other
So
line
long,
bites.
I had no idea where I was at.
Jeez,
I'm
guy.
riding through the city of Paris, holding on to my damn phone
I
in
show
one hand,
him.
trying to ride.
I
with the
show him
other.
how to use the line bike, and then he leaves me, and my line bike doesn't work. So I'm stuck where, like, it says no, it doesn't take Apple Pay. I'm like, yes, it does. I'm like, but it doesn't take Apple. It didn't take Apple Pay for some reason, and it wouldn't let me push the damn. I was so mad, so mad. Anyways, and then I look up, and John's gone, nowhere to be found. I'm stuck in the middle of Paris. Everyone's left me by myself.
In the dark.
Good thing, like I said,
By the
good
Eiffel
thing,
Tower.
I started running. I just jumped out. I did my 7-minute mile all the way to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, right.
Bam! I got there. I'm sweating profusely.
Hey. I'm going to say, he's not lying. He was running because I finally said, where the fuck are you? We're on the phone. He goes, my phone is dying. I'm running around the Eiffel Tower.
Oh my God, man.
I go, all right, stop. I want you to look at the Eiffel Tower. Where's the moon? Right?
Yeah,
You're
that's true.
looking at the
Yes,
Eiffel Tower. Where's the moon? He goes, it's behind me. I go, you got to come all the way to the other side of the Eiffel
Yeah.
Tower, man.
Oh.
I ran like I don't know, 6-7 blocks to the Eiffel Tower, and then
It's
after
like
the 6-7
4
blocks,
mile.
I ran all the way around the fucking Eiffel Tower just to get to John. So,
All right, so like a
but-
third of a mile. Like a third of a mile. Okay. All right. All right. I
Maybe
see you.
Yeah, and it took me like a minute and a half.
So it took about 8
To run
minutes.
to run like a third of a mile? Jeez, oh, that's a long time.
Oh, a third of a mile. This guy.
I know athletes that can do that in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but you're not an athlete, so that's the thing. You can't do it. That's
And
the
I'm still keeping up.
No, you're
Oh,
not.
there it is.
You're not. You're not. We know that.
All right, let's talk about the main event.
Let's talk about the main event.
Ryan Bader versus Czech Kongo. Like, you got to look at it, and one of the things people didn't realize, first round, Czech Kongo tears his quad up high.
Yes, that was one thing.
So that made it where it was tough for him. He went back to his corner, and I'm listening to him in his corner, and he actually tells his corner, I'm fucked. And his Tiki Goose says, I don't give a fuck what you think. You're going to go out there. And he kind of gets Czech back.
Yeah.
Czech he can't out wrestle Ryan Bader.
Yeah.
And that was the story of the whole fight. It's not that, Czech was trying. You got to give him credit. He never broke in it. He was working to try to get into it. But in my opinion, and I asked, Paul Herrera and Tiki, I go, was your game plan to put your back against the fence? I said, it was one of the things that I said in the keys that he can't do.
Yeah.
And they go, no, he was supposed to take the center and back him up. He just couldn't do it, and why? He got hurt with his leg, so he felt like he didn't have the power and base, and he could use the fence to try to hopefully keep himself up. He just wasn't able to do it for very often.
Yeah, John, here's the thing though. A couple things. I said on air, I said, Czech Kongo looked good. And the reason why I said that is because I've seen fights before in the past. I even told Czech this after the fight. I go, it's hard. You
Just
can't
because
teach-
Czech loves us.
Yeah, those aren't exactly his
And we'll
exact
talk
words.
about that one.
But he to me, he looked good because he never once stopped trying to get up. He never once gave up. The other thing, when you go back and you watch the Karatanov fight, he was so exhausted, he couldn't even get up really for the interview afterwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that to me, and that was only a 1-round fight.
2-round.
2-round fight. You're right.
All the way to the second.
Yeah.
End of the second.
So I'm thinking to myself, okay, Ryan Bader's going to wrestle him. He's going to get tired. He's just going to basically succumb to just ground and pound or submission. That never happened. And one of the most frustrating things to do is to fight a wrestler who is good in terms of the transitions. Ryan Bader's good at hanging on the hips. Ryan Bader's good at sitting you back to your ass, putting you back down to your hips, lifting you, slamming you, doing all those things. Ryan Bader was the one that was more exhausted at the end of the fight than Czech was.
Yeah.
Ryan sat down in the corner going, damn, you knew it wasn't a pretty fight. I said Czech looked good. I thought he did look good. You just can't see. He just didn't have the wrestling ability to stuff it or to finish it. To get back up.
He also, and you never know until you know.
Mhm.
He didn't have some of the knowledge he needed. And I think it was partly based upon his leg. He was using his hand to base and to balance. He needed that hand to get inside to break apart what Ryan Bader was doing to him. And he wasn't doing that. So there was no way for him to get out of that.
Yeah, so here, John, when you said, one of the keys to his victory was to be in the center of the cage, keep his back off the fence. And then when I went back in the first 2 rounds, you guys go watch the fight, watch the first 2 rounds. he puts his back to the fence. Ryan Bader has a hard time getting the takedowns. As soon as he steps into the center and he starts trying to strike with him there, every single time Ryan Bader hits his blast double, puts him flat onto his back and is able to control the position from there. He had better takedowns in the open mat than he did with his back against the fence because Czech was able to go to the fence, defend, but he just was never able to turn him off of there. And that's what the focus needed to be. You can't just hang out on the fence. You've got to be able to turn, make him pay. And a lot of that had to do with when I was doing the intro for the show, I said, he can never have his feet planted directly in front of Ryan Bader. There was a couple moments where he hit Ryan, I think in the 4th round, where he hit him and then he moved. And then Ryan like shot blindly because he didn't want to get hit. And Ryan just put his head down and thought he could get to the legs. And Czech was able to circle out and try to land another combination. He needed to do that a lot more.
That and the kicks. I know he didn't kick based upon the wrestling part.
But holy shit, they had an effect.
Holy Christ.
Yeah.
2 times he hit his leg, man. I mean, you looked at Bader's leg and you go, oh, he fucked his leg up. And even when he punched and he just glanced, you could tell that Bader was like, oh, I can't have that hit me again. And he would get in tight and stuff. You have to give it up for a guy who is now going to be 47 years of age.
Jeez.
He doesn't fight like it.
No.
And it's rare when you see someone that he still has speed, he's got strength, he obviously works his ass off. But where does he go from here?
I don't know. I mean, here the one thing and this goes with Yoel Romero as well, is that when you get older, the output's not the same.
Yeah.
And so the output is slowed down. Czech, when he was a younger fighter, had a little bit more output. Same with Yoel Romero. When he first came into the scene, he had a little bit more output. And I'm not just talking about striking. Yes, so much for Czech because he's more of a striker. With Yoel, there was more wrestling involved.
Yeah.
There was more of the flying knees.
Yoel fell in love with the stand-up.
Yeah, he fell in love with the stand-up. It's easier. That's the thing you're going to get. There's less energy that goes out. I can circle, throw one shot, and just stay away. Yeah. Especially if you possess the power that Czech and Yoel do. All right. So what other fights? What other fight on that card?
You want me to read through some, or John, you got any in your mind?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
so
we can go with that.
So we hit David Gallen and Benjamin Brander.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brander just didn't have the answers from the grappling to the stand-up. He didn't have
any element.
Yeah.
He did not have the ability to stop what Davey wanted to do.
Yep.
Davey hit him with a beautiful hip toss on the one, put him down, and the ground and pound was there. Just he's got heavy ground and pound, and man,
the elbows from
even in the stand-up
crucifix.
The stand-up was beautiful. Yeah, and when he put him into the crucifix, it was deep, and Brander wasn't going anywhere. He couldn't. He tried to move, he couldn't move enough, and he's just getting damaged.
Yeah,
get stopped.
Yep. But overall, David Gallen he'll be a star here if he keeps having performances like this. If you guys don't know about him, he's the guy that had the Rolling Thunder knockout over Ross Pearson. Who was his other win?
He beat Charlie Leary.
Knocked him out. Good. He's good. He's
and
good all the way around.
He beat Kane Musa.
That's right, with the big vagina cut.
Huge giant.
Yeah, he had a vagina cut.
Okay, vagina cut.
Well, I call it Marvin Eastman.
He
gave him the Marvin Eastman, that big cut right there.
It was basically the same cut as Marvin Eastman's.
Yeah, it was. It was nasty. Great performance by David Gallen. Who else on that card? The
Lorenz Larkin.
Lorenz.
Lorenz, come on.
It just got to stay busy, man. If Lorenz can stay busy, I can see him making another run at the title, especially at 170.
Especially just when he lets it go.
Yeah.
God damn, when he fucking lets it go, he is so fast. He moves so well. He's in and out. And he takes great angles. You watch him. And he'll dip his head off the side, boom, comes back to the other side. You don't see guys that'll switch to one side and then back to the other very often. Lorenz Larkin's footwork is beautiful.
Yeah.
He's fast. I do think that at 185, they're too big as far as their frames for him. He needs to go to back to the 170, which he said, look, I would fight 170 if they find me somebody to fight, but it's a matter of I need a fight, and I could get him at 185, so I went to 185. I'll go back to 170.
Yeah, because when we talked to him at the fighter meetings, he's not a gym rat. He doesn't like to be in the gym unless he's got something coming up. He's like, okay, cool, I'll train once every other day or once a day, but I'm not in there twice a day like I was when I was younger.
And I like food.
And he likes food, and I understand that, So when it comes down to, look, if I'm not scheduled for anything, and as you get older, you're like, and he's not old. He's he's still young. You don't want to be in the gym every single day if you got nothing coming up. and I know you probably should be, but he's so talented on the feet. He's so good. He's got good takedown defense. He's quick with his hands. In that fight, he was waiting around the first probably minute and a half, and you could just see, okay, I found the rhythm. I found your timing. I found your rhythm. You're not fast. You have no power. Okay, I'm going to get through this. And he just started touching him and touching him and touching him. And it was like, bink, bink, bink.
You missed a part in there when you said, I've got the timing. You have no power. You're fucked.
Yeah, that's, yes.
It just was.
Yeah, you could just see Lorenz, his confidence just was like, I got this.
Yep.
I'm cool.
He had
Don't
that, like,
worry.
he almost had like that. I looked at his face and he went like,
Yeah.
it was like, yep.
Yep. The swagger was there. Yeah. Put my swag on.
Yeah, well, hey.
Anyways. All right. John has no idea what I'm talking about.
But
And
Ben comes in and fights and gets a big win.
Yeah.
That was a big win. For him.
Huge win over Mike Shipman.
Yep.
Look, Gregory Ben, I was thinking to myself, I said in the fighter meetings, he seems a little small for the weight class.
Yeah, but he's got a big lower end.
Yeah.
You know,
You're checking out the lower end.
He's got big legs, big
you walked
ass,
into that one.
big legs,
You
big
walked
ass,
into
and
that
so he
one.
carries the weight there. But man, you talk about a guy that came in. Because I'm looking at it thinking, look, Shipman's the real deal, powerful, awkward, and when you
Key journey, herky journey.
thank you exactly, and I compare him to that. But man, he came in so confident as far as and confidence on the ground I could understand because he's got a great submission game. But confidence on the feet, no, he's never done great things on the feet. And on the feet, he was confident. And he was putting his hands down. And he was just like marching him down at times and giving him looks and just giving a feint with his shoulders and causing. And he hit Shipman with some big shots.
Yeah.
He did a great job. And, it's amazing what can happen sometimes when guys get that opportunity. But Ben in Bellator, that's his fourth fight.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 finishes.
Yeah.
3 by submission now, 1 by knockout.
Yeah, it's Shipman. When we talked to him in the week, he's just like, I can't make any mistakes. I got to do this, I got to do that. All he did was start off with mistakes.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, what happened? And he's that guy that he's fought, Fabian Edwards. Fabian couldn't get him out of there. He's fought Van Steenis. He's fought.
Steenis did get him out.
Yes, but certain guys he's fought, and they weren't able to do anything to him. They had a hard time with him. He was able to push them
He
around.
had gone on a 13-fight win streak,
Yeah,
man. He was cleaning clocks, man. He was on fire for a while there.
So it was strange for me because to see when I talked with Greg, I was like, he seemed a little smaller. Shipman's strong. I was expecting like him for Shipman to grab him, throw him to the ground, ground and pound, put some weight on him, kind of just not really ragdoll him, but just avoid the submission, and that was it. That was the complete opposite of the way I thought that fight was.
Yeah, no, because he was getting
great
hit.
Performance though.
He was getting hit and he was getting hurt.
Great performance.
Yeah.
In terms of the rest of the prelims, we're gonna
just skip down to a couple.
Yeah.
Yves Landau.
Yes.
Man.
Yves,
excuse me. Yves Landau. You're true. That's true.
Yes.
You get rid of the S. I mean, great performance against a guy who is a tough dude. We know Gavin is tough. He's gone in there before. We watched him. He'll throw down with anyone. He is too small for that division, though.
Yeah, not just him, but Jetta too. The kid, he was undefeated 8-0, and then he had his first loss. Same thing with him. The two of them, I don't know if it's a French thing or whatever, but they should be fighting a weight class lower. Their body frames, everything like that, they're just not. They're explosive. They're fast. They possess power. They're good wrestlers. They've got good takedown defense. I should say, not good wrestlers. Yeah. They got good takedown defense.
No, Giada's got good takedowns.
He's got good takedowns.
He's got good takedowns.
So, you know what I mean? But they have the ability, but they look like they're a little undersized for the fighters that they're fighting.
No.
So, but Landau with the breakdancing, I would have broke my neck trying to do shit like that.
He's awesome.
He's insane. He's definitely a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
And then Jetta also, he was good. He's just too small. That's really what it came down. He got out-muscled everywhere. He got thrown around. He got pushed around. But he'll be back, and I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully, he goes to the 35 instead of fighting at 45. Well, now I'm just gonna be honest. The first 2 fights on the prelims, go to the Bellator YouTube channel, check them out. They were just fun to watch. Look, I'm not saying that they're the most technical fights, but they were fun to watch.
No,
If you
but
wanna-
especially in the first one when you're looking at it's Kamara. Here's a guy comes in, you look and he's got length and stuff, and he wants to be in the stand-up, and he's getting hit because of the range. He can't figure out the range, and you can see a guy having problems. And then you'll watch a certain moment in that fight at that time when he figures it out and things change for him, and you see the difference of what happens when a guy gets that range, understands the distance, and then starts putting it on his opponent. I thought it was very impressive for a young fighter to be calm during times when things aren't going for him, and then turn it around and really put on a show once he gets that distance down. So,
all right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our Bellator talk. We're going to jump into a couple of fights on the PFL, and let's talk right away to the main event. Kayla Harrison.
Kayla Harrison Marina. That's the problem. And look, and I keep on saying for the PFL, look, I love Kayla, and I think Kayla is a fantastic fighter and stuff, but it's fights like this one with Marina, who we have watched multiple times.
She's fought in Bellator.
We know how she fights. We know if she's good, and when Kayla doesn't put her away, it's telling me Kayla's not ready for that next level, because there is a next level out there, and she's got things that she needs to do to put a fighter like Marina Mokantina away. Those are the fighters you have to put away. Mokantina. You can't let those fights go on. And sometimes it is the fighters out there saying, I want to get some rounds in, I want to get some time in and stuff like that. Based upon the PFL and I'm not saying that Kayla is worried about making it to the playoffs or anything like that, but you want to get those points.
Yep.
So you would think that she wants to kind of end it early. But she dominated the fight. She just didn't get what she needs to get to prove that she's that person at that level.
Yeah, but John, we can have those one-off fights.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I'm with you. Kayla Harrison's
I love her.
She's amazing. She's fun. She's energetic. She's really good.
She's honest.
And the big thing with her though is that I look at this as this is just the experience in the ring time and the cage time that she needs.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to write it off and say that she can't beat Chris or Amanda or Juliana Pena. I think the styles make matchups, and she has an opportunity to beat any of them if she fights them.
True.
But also, when you're fighting people that sometimes don't motivate you, you're not really the same fighter. She is someone that it makes me believe that she is driven by the person in front of her. She's self-motivated.
Yep.
I understand that. But we all know, like, when you are competing at the highest level, you have certain days where you're just like, this person doesn't belong in here with me. I know that. Marina Mokantina, she's got judo.
Yeah,
not that level.
She doesn't have it.
You know what I mean? That's my point. So, like, for her, she's like, what's she going to do? She's going to take me down?
Yeah.
She's going to foot sweep me? She's going to hip toss me? What's she going to do? No, thank you.
Nothing.
So I think she realized there was no threat anywhere, but she just couldn't get her out of there.
But that's my point. When you have someone that is not a threat, because if there's a place for Marina to be a threat, it's on the ground. It's not really in her stand-up. Even though her stand-up has gotten much better over time. When we first saw her stand-up, it was really, really bad. Then it became more basic. Then actually it was starting to look better. So she has gotten better at it, but not in that position where you say she's someone that you need to be scared of in the stand-up, worried about. She's dangerous. And so it really then comes down to, well, it's our ground games. And look, she was able to dominate the fight, like I said, as far as, positions and taking it to the ground when she wanted. But you just, in those fights, you want to see Kayla Harrison get the finish.
Got it. Yeah, I agree. Julia Budd versus Jenna Fabia. Jenna Fabia had some issues making weight.
Yeah.
How this isn't the
At
first
155.
I know, but she's tall. John, I think she's 5'11"?
Yeah, she's tall.
She's tall.
Yeah.
She might even be 6 foot, but I think she's 5'11". She's tall. She's a good fighter.
She's a good stand-up fighter.
Yeah, she's a good stand-up fighter. She has a hard time, with the weight cuts though. She's missed it a couple times. So I don't know, nutritionist. She's got to figure it out, but she's always up there. I think she was in the finals last year, I believe, right? The year before.
No, she didn't make it to the finals.
She was in one of the finals.
I think she was in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, okay.
Yeah, she lost to Kayla in the playoffs.
Got it. But I like watching her fight, but
I can't believe that I'm saying playoffs in MMA.
Yeah. But she beat Julia Budd. The thing with Julia Budd is just believing in herself. I said this a long time ago on the Joe Rogan show. I said, look, if you're going to take who the better stand-up fighter is, Chris Cyborg or Julia Budd Budd's the better stand-up fighter.
Technique-wise?
Technique-wise.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that she can knock her out. Doesn't mean she could. But I mean, it doesn't mean that, like, in a stand-up fight, the Cyborg's not just going to walk right through her. Cyborg is someone that just doesn't have any respect, I think, for most people's stand-up. When she walks through their shots or tries to walk through their shots, like, you know, I mean, like, when you're having these conversations about confidence, that's the one thing with Julia Budd that we've always talked about. She almost feels like she has to talk herself into winning when she's good.
Physically super strong. Physically has all the tools. Just confidence is not there. And in my opinion, I've said this to her, Julia, you're fighting not to lose instead of fighting to win.
Yeah.
You can't be in that position.
That's true.
And that's what you see is she's so worried about losing the fight that she doesn't do the things that she's capable of in the fight to get that win.
Yeah.
And it's the difference maker, and it's got to change because it's, you know, all the women fighters are just getting better. And so it's not like you're going to run into that person that, oh, you know, just because, you know, I'm so physically dominant, you're just not going to get matched up with that person now in the PFL with what they're trying to do with their 155s. And Julia's definitely big enough as far as for that 155. She's got the physical strength for it. She has got to get her confidence back because it is gone. It is not there.
Yeah. I don't know. What other fights were on there? I know Rory was on there. I didn't get a chance to see it. I heard he won by submission.
He looked great.
He looked great?
He looked great.
Good. I mean,
came out, just did exactly what he was supposed to do.
So talented.
Brett Cooper is a good veteran, tough dude. I love Brett. He's just not the guy that can stop what Rory does.
Roy's good everywhere. That's why. Not a lot of people can. Like if Rory, I felt like in his younger career, would have been a little bit smarter about how he fought, he would have been the champ.
Yeah, the one that you would have been surprised with was Ray Cooper lost.
That just drives me crazy, man. The guy's so damn good. So good.
It has not been the month for the Cooper family because his brother lost in Bellator in Hawaii.
Yep. Hey, sometimes it's working, sometimes it's clicking, sometimes it's not. As long as Ray Cooper gets into the playoffs, which he needs to, like.
It's tough now. Now he's got to get that finish. Really, he's got to it's got to be like at least a second round finish too. Jeez. He's got to come out. He's got to put his hands on someone because
we've seen that. Tougher. We've seen this before though. Guys that have won it the year before sometimes come back the next year and they're flat.
Yeah,
they're flat.
True. All right. UFC.
Yeah, let's go UFC. So that wraps up our PFL talk. Let's go right into the UFC and we'll talk. Let's go.
All right, we want to talk about you and providing for your family, which we know is one of the most important things that you can do because Josh and I do it for ours, and it's very important that you put the highest quality food on the table for your family, and that is what Butcher Box brings. Butcher Box is an incredible system where you can get meat delivered to your home, be it beef, chicken, fish, salmon, all of them. It's an incredible, high quality. They get all of their meat. They source their meat from partners with the highest standards for quality. No more searching the grocery store and having to try to go through everything. Everything. Talking about the beef, 100% grass-fed. Look, I go and I have free-range chickens. My chickens are running all over the place. Butcher Box has free-range chickens. Wild-caught seafood like salmon. It's not that it's all in these pools that everything is all together. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's great. It's fresh. It is the best, and you need to sign up now.
Free range chickens. You guys hear that? You guys go to John's IG channel.
Chickens.
He will show you videos of him chasing after chickens like Rocky. That's what we love. Look, I love their cuts. Their ribeye cuts are amazing. I also love the convenience of it all because I come home, it's already frozen. It's in actual ice box when I get it at my house. I transfer it to the freezer. And right now with the cost of meat, it's so expensive. So I love the cost as well. We use our promo code Weighing In. You get a discount. And I love it because it comes directly to my house. I don't have to go to the store anymore. I don't have to wait in the Costco lines. I live here in California. It's ridiculous right now at Costco. The gas station lines, the food lines, everything is ridiculous right now. I love the convenience of Butcher Box. And it's just nice for it to come to the house. And then also, I didn't used to eat pork chops before, John. Their pork chops are absolutely amazing. Nice little mandarin glaze that I like to make over the top. So mix that with the cost and the convenience of having it at the house directly delivered. Absolutely amazing.
I just had a family dinner. 8 people I cook steaks for. I love doing a reverse sear. If you guys want to know how to do a reverse sear, I will explain it, teach you how to do it. It will be the best steak you ever had. But the one thing, it doesn't matter what you cook. If it's bad meat, it's bad. Butcher Box brings you the very best, the highest quality. I will teach you how to do a reverse sear, and you will have the best steak that you have ever had.
This is your chance to never have to shop for ground beef again. That's right. Butcher Box is giving new members free ground beef for life. See, right now, with the cost of meat, like I said, one of my favorite things about Butcher Box is at the cost. And if you're going to give me something free, John knows I love free things. So two ground beef, 2 pounds of ground beef for life.
2 pounds.
Sign up with butcherbox.com/weighing-in. Use our promo code weighing-in and get 2 pounds of ground beef free in every order for the life of your membership. That's pretty damn good, John.
That's
pretty
incredible. Incredible. As long as you stay a member and you keep ordering, every time you order something, it's 2 pounds of ground beef. You cannot beat that.
Also, that's 2 pounds of free ground beef for life and $10 off your first box. Log in to butcherbox.com/weighing-in. Use that promo code weighing-in to claim this deal. Guys, I want you guys to understand, because the ESPN app wasn't working here in Paris, so I wasn't able to watch any of the prelims. So we're going to really just talk the main card.
Watch a couple of the prelims that I was able to get illegally.
Okay.
Okay, but we won't go into them, but I will say.
Okay. It's like,
okay, never mind.
And by illegally, he means that I put them on my iPad and he watched them. He watched them on my iPad on FaceTime. That's what he means by illegal.
Much.
Yeah. Thanks for saving John.
That's exactly it.
Digging him out of the ditch that he just dug himself.
I couldn't. I pay for ESPN.
Yeah.
Okay. I pay for ESPN Plus. I do that so I can watch the UFC, and then I come to a different country and I can't watch it.
Have you ever been to China?
Yes.
Well, I was there for several months.
Yeah.
There was no social media.
Oh, yeah.
There was no, you couldn't get on social media. You couldn't, certain web pages you couldn't look at.
Yeah.
You couldn't get to. It was really strange to me to be like, man, censorship, it exists.
Locked out. Oh,
it
yeah.
exists. Holy shit, this is true. And anyways, all right, well, let's get into the UFC. So we'll talk the main event first. Let's go. Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje.
Man, I'll tell you what, going into this.
What did you say, $100? You said
No, I've already paid that, so it's gone.
Oh, okay, I got it.
You can stop now. Okay. I was a man of my word. I went and you said
I win.
First round. I said no. It'll at least go into the second, and I was wrong. But I'm gonna be, as you look at it, everything was going against Charles. Everything was going against Charles.
Was it really?
Yes. Come on, they take your title. All those things that you could look at that could suck somebody down, it didn't suck him down. It could have. It could have gotten him into a place where, he's feeling like he's being cheated on and stuff like that. And you just look and you go, man, give it up for that dude, because he went out there, he believes in himself, says, you know what, I don't give a shit. Have the belt. Guess what? I'm going to beat your guy now. And then I'm going to put myself in a position to where I'm still the man. Doesn't matter if I have the belt around my waist or not. The real question for me is, how did it affect his pay?
Didn't. Dana came out and said he gets his pay-per-view points.
Good.
So
good for Dana in that.
I mean, the commission took the percentage.
Well, he's got the 20%.
He's got to pay the 20% because
for a half a pound. And let's be honest, you're the commission. Guys, you've got to follow your own regulations. If you guys write these regulations.
What are those regulations? Because I don't know, so I know everyone listening doesn't know them either.
Every state, and people go. This is where people get into the unified rules. Look, there are states that follow the unified rules exactly, and then there are states that have their own things that they'll add in places that we do it this way and stuff like that. California used to have a rule where you could weigh in once for a world title fight.
Yes.
If you didn't make weight.
Yep.
You didn't fight. That was what they would say. And it was ridiculous. It's a stupid rule.
Yep.
It's a stupid, thing that's written into their legislation, but that's what they had. Well, Arizona has it to where if you miss weight, you get a specific amount of time to lose that weight as long as you are within so many pounds of what you're supposed to actually weigh in at.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give him that full time.
Interesting.
If you don't give him that full time, you're not following your regulations. He has something to say. Look, it says right here, you should have given me I should have had another hour to lose that half pound. You didn't give that to me. You can't have that. You can't have it.
Okay, I agree with everything you're saying, except Charles is the champion. He needs to come in at weight. That's your job.
I agree.
That's it. I have nothing else to say because, look, I've never missed weight, but I do sympathize for people that have missed weight a little bit.
This is a guy who used to make 145.
I know. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. But he killed himself to make 145.
Yeah.
He's a fucking problem for these guys.
Boy, you talk about a guy that believes in himself now, a guy who's saying, you're going to have to kill me. It is Charles Oliveira, man. And he got hit with some big shots, and the angles on his left hand at times, the way because look, they practiced. They watched Justin Gaethje. They said he likes to dip his head and duck his head down this way, and we're going to attack him with these. And he did, and it was successful. And that's where you read your opponent, go back and look at where he does things that can be a mistake for him against you. That's what his coaching staff, and that's what he did. And it paid off because he landed some heavy shots against Justin.
I said it last week, and it wasn't fully like paid through on it, but the clinch. The clinch was the knees.
I agree.
Now, just Gaethje proved me wrong a little bit. I didn't think he was going to come out and kick right away. He came out kicking right away.
I was right about that part. That's the only thing I was right about.
But remember what I said is that Charles lifts his leg. So it's not like he's like not really taking the full grunt of the kick. And in the clinch, the knees and the elbows and the uppercuts were going to be key. Because Charles in the clinch is the better fighter. Yeah. Because Justin hangs his head.
Justin dips his head down.
He hangs his head. Yeah, he hangs his head. He does all these little tiny things that opens up his sternum, opens up his stomach to be kneed, and it hangs his head to be uppercut, elbows if he postures up. Also, I was expecting Charles to do more of the body lock type takedowns, but I mean, Justin got away from the way he fought Michael Chandler. He fought composed. I mean, there was one time he threw a punch and he slipped, or basically
he threw the punch so hard he spun himself onto the ground.
Exactly. And so that's my point. My point is that if he didn't fight him the way that he fought Chandler. No. He fought composed, relaxed, just touch, big shot, touch. And he was having success landing on Charles had he continued to fight that way. But then occasionally he would go, he'd swing so hard he'd miss and leave himself out of position. That's what he couldn't afford to do.
Yep.
So.
Beautiful job by Charles Oliveira, though, when he did hurt Justin and then goes down. You look at Justin was able to stop the rear naked choke as far as the locking hand. He was able to pull it, and you saw right away Charles took and slipped it underneath the other hand, stuffed it in. Sorry about that. Let me do that one more time.
Just blew my ears out.
I'm sorry, brother. But I mean, that's what a guy of his level does, and that's why you can't make those mistakes and allow someone like him to be on your back because he's gonna get it, man. He's slick. Right now, I got my man sitting here with Islam Makhachev. There's no doubt. I know you believe that he's gonna beat Charles.
He's gonna sub him. He's gonna submit him.
Wow, he's gonna submit him.
Yep,
ain't happening. I'm gonna get my $100 back.
Jim Miller submitted Charles Oliveira. Islam's going to submit him. I'm just being honest. I think
Jim Miller submitted a different Charles Oliveira.
No, his name's still Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, but he's a different fighter.
Different fighter.
Don't tell me he's not
still the same
fighter.
grappler.
Nope. Better. Way better.
Maybe a little bit better.
He's better.
But so's Islam. I mean, I think it's going to be a good fight. Obviously, I'm going to go with my boy because this is Homer City.
Because you're Homer.
I'm a
Homer Central.
I'm over here for my boys, man. So, look, Islam, he's got the better wrestling. He will take it to the ground. He's got to be cautious of the guillotine because, the way he hits his takedowns, he will be able to go foot sweep right to takedown. He's got to be cautious of the attack on the legs right away. Islam does. Mm-hmm. Like, if he throws him, and does he go right into a leg lock position, Charles? Does he do that? But I think overall, I have seen and I always say this, I have seen Islam give the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. Jiu-jitsu guys. Only jiu-jitsu guys.
Just
not
doing jiu-jitsu.
Just doing jiu-jitsu. Smash them. Give them a hard time. Take their backs. Finish them. And I'm going to leave the names out, but these are the best guys. As of right now, still to this day, they are the best guys competing on the circuits. In no-gi and in gi. He is given, and they're all bigger than him. All of them. Competing 185, 190, some of them at heavyweight. Okay?
Oh, now you're
Yes.
starting. Now
No.
you're starting to go a little too far.
No, I'm not.
You're going too far.
John, I'm not lying, buddy. I don't need to lie about this stuff. I don't need to lie about these guys. Islam and Khabib, like these, I've seen them go with the best guys in the world in just grappling, no striking, no punching, and they give them goes. I think that this fight will hit the ground, and when it does, Islam has a good chance of finishing him, subbing him. Strength-wise, that's what I think is going to come. Kimura, it's going to come down to Kimura. It's going to come down to I won't say arm and guillotine, but it's going to come down to some sort of like a Kimura, where he can muscle the position out of there and finish it.
Okay.
You know, Charles would be a problem.
So you're thinking more Kimura, arm triangle type thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go with that. Yeah.
All right.
I think if he gets to his back, he's going to have a hard time finishing him. Charles too relaxed. Charles, he's just
Too
too
good
savvy
defending
of that. Yeah. But but I'm not going to count Charles out either. I mean, Charles got a good chance on the feet. He's got a good chance.
Yes, he does.
He's got a good chance on the feet, and it's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. But if I'm going to say Charles versus Dariush, Charles beats Dariush.
Yes.
I think it'll be a tough fight, but I think he beats him.
Yeah. I would agree.
Charles versus, we've already seen Charles Chandler. Okay. I think I'd like to see Dariush versus Chandler.
Oh, that's
and
my
Islam. And
Islam versus Charles.
Yep.
Chandler versus Dariush.
And where does Gaethje go from here?
Thing. Yeah, back to the drawing board. Let's be honest.
Do we watch him and Dustin do it again?
I would love to.
I would love to.
I would love to see that fight. That would be a great fight.
Let's do it. Let's run it back, man. Let's run it back. That's a great one.
All right, let's talk about this. I guess it was the second, but the first championship fight. It was horrible.
All right. Well, John,
It was horrible.
John, I had this conversation with you yesterday.
Yeah,
And I said,
yeah.
what are the things that we need to work on for our podcast?
I know. Be more positive.
Be positive, John.
Okay,
Be
I'm being positive.
I want to be.
That championship fight was horrible.
Was it?
And when I say horrible, this is why. Okay, and it's look. The Weighing In podcast is brought to you by Fume. Now, Fume is an outstanding product that can help you if you're a smoker or a vapor to get off of that nasty habit. Josh and I have been in Paris here, and trust me, there are way too many people smoking here, way too many people that need Fume. They need the product that can help them get off of that nasty smoking and vaping that is going on. It is a simple product. It is just a wood prominent that you're going to put an oil-infused core into. With that, you breathe it in. It gives you that same hand-to-mouth action that the cigarette or the vape pen will do, but there's no harmful effects. You can do it around your friends. You can do it in a car, in a plane, in a train. You and I are going to be on a train, and we can use our fumes during that time because it doesn't affect anybody and it's healthy for you. Please, if you are that person that is out there and you are smoking, realize you are just taking and putting a nail in the coffin every day. You need to go to Breathe Fume, and Fume is F-U-M, breathefume.com. Go to the Weighing In code. Use that. You will get 10% off on the product. You can get all kinds of different flavors. You like bubbly lime.
I do like bubble lime. I also
Cherry.
like the peppermint.
Peppermint is outstanding. I love Invigorate. Conquer is really good. All these different flavors for you to try. You'll figure out the one that actually makes you feel the best, opens you up the best. It's an unbelievable product. We believe in it. We think you will love it. Try Breathe Fume. One of the things that it happened multiple times last night as I was watching. Cornermen need to stop telling their fighters they're winning the rounds when you don't know. If it's a close round, you got to say, hey, no idea whose round that is. Okay? Or, hey, we're going to have to say that we lost that because we don't know the way the judges are going to go.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and fall in love with what your fighter is doing based upon, damn, they look good. Look at how Rose Namajunas looked fantastic in movement. Her footwork was beautiful. She was in control of the, cage as far as, she was comfortable, and Carla doesn't have that smooth, fluid style that Rose does. And so she looks better. but you've got to be offensive.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'm being honest, you know, I texted it after the first round. I go 10-10 round. You can't give a round to somebody based upon one shot landing. They both landed one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say what's better? Neither person deserved to win that round. Neither person did enough. I always say, if you're going to get a 10-10 round, it's when you get nothing. You get nothing from either fighter, and we got nothing from either fighter. So the first round is a 10-10. It didn't get much better as far as the activity there, but again, Carla's at least pressing. She's not being real successful, but she's pressing in the fight, trying to get the takedowns. I don't understand. It is clear to me, and I'm sorry if you know people can sit there and yell at me all they want. It's clear to me Rose is the better fighter. She's the better fighter. And if you're the better fighter in this situation, because she showed that she could stop Carla's takedowns, okay?
And get her own.
And get her own. And she's clearly better in the stand-up. She's the better fighter. But her cornermen were not. And it's Pat Barry and Trevor, who I love. They were falling in love with, okay, now, you know, to show everyone, you know, this, dude, you know, take your time here, you know, just be careful. And finally it was, all right, show them, you know, you're the best martial artist out there and stuff. And look at her movement is fantastic. She looks beautiful as far as the way she's fighting. But you've got to put shots on her. And it wasn't until the 5th round that she was starting to put some shots on her, and she won that round, but she had let rounds get by. Yeah. And it was like, when the fight, I look at that fight and I say, look, 50% of the people are going to say that Rose Namajunas won that fight. 50% are going to say that Carla Esparza won that fight, which is telling you neither one of you can complain about that fight because you're the ones that put it in the position where everyone disagrees on who won it. It was that close, and it was that close based upon you not doing enough to show the judges, I deserve this round.
Yeah, very true. When you go back to your corner, your coaches have to tell you, look, you're able to get the takedown, you're touching her, let's have more output. Yeah. Okay, the rounds are too close, let's start to run away with this a little bit. Let's start upping the pace, let's start getting after it. I like that she fought a little cautious in the first round.
That's
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Get the timing, get the feel, whatever it is. But you could tell that she was so prepared for the takedowns and so quick to hit her hip and bounce back up, so quick to roll her through. She did so many good things. You as a coach got to be going, hey, now it's time we start putting her on her back, which she did. Now it's time we start opening up with the stand-up, using the kicks up the middle, things like that. Well, that will help stop the takedowns.
Yep.
It just wasn't there. We weren't getting that from the corners, from Pat Barry and from Whitman, and that's what's crazy is because they are really good coaches.
No doubt about it.
And
no doubt about it. I think Trevor Whitman's one of the best coaches there is out there, and Pat is great, especially as the motivational guy for her. She believes in him, and he pumps her up and he gets her to that next platform and level. Yeah. They're great with her. It's just that they needed to see. You can't sit there and say, we're winning these rounds. And you got to tell her, hey, output. I need more. I need you to stick that jab in and out with the jab. And just, that would have been a big difference maker. There just wasn't enough.
No, I agree. I'm not going to sit up here and throw a lot of shade at them. I've had nights like that where not that least amount of output, but I've had nights where you come in and it's like, God, do more. You're telling yourself do more, but you don't do anything.
Yeah,
it happens, John.
But But let me ask you this: when you watch Rose in that fight, it's not like she's having a bad night.
No,
she's moving just beautifully. Yeah. I mean, I can't ask a fighter to look better than her movement and what she's doing as far as controlling where she's at, what's going on. Mm-hmm. The only difference is in getting into that engagement and landing those shots and then exiting out. That would be the only thing I could say because she looked great.
Yeah, the problem is, man, Dana White was probably fucking pulling his hair out.
Yeah, all of it.
All of it. And at the end of it's going, there's no way I'm fucking running this fight back.
He's got to.
There's no way.
He's got to.
He already said no.
What's that?
He in the post-fight presser, he said probably not. He's like, let's see what happens with Joanna and Weili, and then and then
With
go from there.
Yeah.
Weili and stuff. Look, he does have options. There's no doubt about that. But you got to be honest when you look and say, I guess you can say that Weili is a good champion for him to have in some ways based upon China.
Yeah, it's money.
But it's not good for him to have her as a champion based upon other places.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to even get into that. I'm going to simply just say, Weili versus Carla Esparza.
Weili's going to run her over.
He's going to run her over. He's going to stuff the takedowns. Going to keep it on the feet.
Yep, and hurt her.
Put some big power on her and potentially hurt her.
Yep.
Joanna is not as much, I don't think, of a threat to Carla.
Joanna took the belt from Carla
I know.
and demolished her.
I understand that. Carla also was just straight wrestling. Her stand-up is a little bit more refined now. You got to give her a little bit of credit.
I give her a ton of credit. Her stand-up has gotten way better,
Negative
but
Nancy.
not good enough to stop because Joanna's got the belief that Carla can't take her down.
Joanna is also not the same fighter that she was. She was
That's
not
true.
as, so
That's true.
she's going,
That's true.
I'm not saying
It could be
drastically
that
back.
Yeah,
She's dropped a little bit, and Carla's kind of making a little bit of a rise. They may be close in there. But styles make matchups.
Okay.
I still am going to give it to Joanna. I agree. I'm still going to give it to Joanna, but I think that's a good matchup as well. There is other options. Jessica Andrade coming back down.
Yep.
That's a good, you put her against Carla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's fights in there that can be made.
There's a lot of fights in there.
Rose will make her way back, I believe. She'll make her way back to being champ.
Well, you look at Carla made her way back.
Yeah.
It was what? They said
Yeah, but
2,600 and some days.
Yeah, but they like Rose more, so they'll push her
no
faster.
doubt about it.
Yeah,
No doubt about
they're not big fans of Carla.
No.
They're not big
Carla
fans of
doesn't have the style they like, but you got to give it to her, man. Look, she sticks with what she does.
Yep.
She went out there. She got the win. The judges gave her the score. And so I really look at and congratulations on getting married and stuff. I hope your next fight is a more exciting fight just for me because you fell asleep during the fight.
I kept waking up between rounds. I was like, it was 5 a.m, guys. Calm down.
5:30 in the morning.
Look, if you're an MMA fan, you live in France, I got a lot of respect for you.
A lot of respect for you. You
I
are
got a lot
hardcore.
of respect for you right now. This is
You are hardcore.
You are a hardcore fan. Okay. All right. What was the other fight on there? Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson.
I was gonna say, come on.
Can you reenact your reaction when the kick came up the middle and you watched Tony drop? Can you reenact how you reacted?
I was actually sleeping. I had to watch the replay. No, no. It's John. I mean, shit happens. This is the fight game. Tony was looking good. He looked good in the first round. Was doing some stuff. I mean, he lost the first round, but it was still a close round. It was a good round.
Yeah.
This show of Weighing In is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Big John, I made money already off of you.
You did.
For this Oliveira and Justin Gaethje
I'm not happy
fight.
about that.
But
But notice that I paid right away.
Yes, you did. And actually, to be honest.
And that's what my bookie will do for you.
And I forgot. So that's why you have MyBookie, MyBookie.ag. Use our promo code Weighing In. Use that QR code right over there. When you put your first initial deposit, they'll give you a little extra spending cash. But on top of that, though, they will let you know next time you log in that you've won money. So when you don't forget, like me, okay, that someone owes you money, like Big John paid. He paid me the $100, and I said, "What are you paying me for?" You said we had a bet for the first round.
First round.
It seems like I seem to be on track a lot these days.
Wow.
Islam Makhachev.
Hold on.
Finish.
Let me do this for you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you very much. But hey, when you guys go to MyBookie.ag, use that promo code Wayne and that QR code right there for your first initial deposit. You get a little extra spending cash. And we want to thank you guys for continuing to support us. MyBookie has stuck by us through this, and we'd like you guys to stick by us by also joining MyBookie.ag using that promo code Wayne. Chandler being Chandler. Chandler's got power. Chandler pulling something out of his ass like that. I mean, someone even said, who said it? I didn't even know if Chandler could do that kick because his torso's so small. They're like, his body is not. I didn't even realize that kick was even an option for him.
Even Chandler said, he goes, yeah, that's not something we really practice for.
But I got to be honest. Look, no matter how you feel, no matter how I feel about him,
So you're going to be honest about this?
No matter how I feel about him, he's always been a talented fighter. He's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter. Okay, he's got power. He's got good wrestling. Okay, his submissions are really damn good as well. His arm and guillotine, all those things. He's got good chokes, good guillotines. He's good. He's got good, vicious, nasty ground and pound. He is a really good fighter. And I thought, honestly, the Chandler that fights smart, which is so rare, and that's why when I talk about how good he is, you can be really good and just be the dumbest fucking fighter in the world because you don't use your fight IQ and use your brain to fight smart. He sometimes falls into that category. And I could put him maybe like into a Rory McDonald with Robbie Lawler type thing. Like, what are you doing? Use other tools. Do this. Like, it's not about who's got the bigger balls. It's about winning the fights and getting back to the title shot. He got a good win over Tony. Do I think that warrants another title shot? No. I think that here he's. I like that conversation we had a second ago about him fighting.
Dariush?
Yeah, Dariush.
Yeah,
that's a great fight. We haven't seen that fight yet.
Yep.
He's already fought
That's a great
Charles.
opponent for him.
He's also fought Justin Gaethje. You know, like let's see what happens.
Yep.
I think the Dariush fight's a good fight as long to the title shot, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a homer.
No,
but
he deserves the title.
He deserves a title
That's
shot.
one of the things, Chandler, I thought, did a great job on the mic.
Marketing himself, absolutely.
Yeah, just great job with the way he was, what he was saying. Was it, pre-planned?
WWE? Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, of course it is.
Planned.
But he's doing the right thing and calling out a multitude of people.
Mm-hmm.
The one that he did not call out was a guy named Islam Makhachev. But he called out a multitude of people, even all the way to Conor McGregor saying, I'll take you on at 170. That's all great stuff. But there's no way that he deserves a shot against Charles. And he also brought up Justin, redoing that fight, which was a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't deserve that title shot compared to Makhachev.
No.
You can't give it to him. But you could give it. They could decide, you know what? We want someone that's going to stand in front of Conor. We think that's a good matchup. And he could get that fight at 170. It's
Conor
a
already
possibility.
came on Twitter and said he's not cutting the weight.
So Conor's going to go to 185?
70. No, he doesn't want to fight at 50.
That's what I said. So Michael
said go
I'll
up.
meet you at 170.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got you. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I got you. But he also said something about Chandler as well, like that it wasn't a fight that really.
He said he could see him fighting him down the line, is what he said. He's like this fight
okay.
this fight will definitely happen, but it's down the line, is what he said.
Got it.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Got it. I mean, I think if Charles does come back, or not Charles, but Conor, if he does come back, the title's vacant. I could see them, Conor and
155.
I know, but I could see them. I could
Like,
see him
dude,
doing
you
that.
just said something.
Yeah,
Conor
I know.
said, I'm not going to 155.
Because Conor always tells the truth, like Dana White. It's like
I hate when you say things that are actually
I
true.
know. It's, but hey, I don't want to see Charles and Conor. I don't want to see that fight. I want to see.
No,
I wouldn't mind.
It's not right. I understand why they would do it.
Mhm.
I understand. Look, it's about
It's
money and stuff.
I get it.
But again, if he's not going to go to 155, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, it was a great win for Chandler. I thought Tony was actually fighting really well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he looked good. His jab was there. He was countering Chandler when he came in and landing good shots. The jab that put him down, look, it put him down. He was off balance also. It wasn't that he was really that hurt from it. But the one thing that I thought Tony did a beautiful job of, you can tell they looked and watched Chandler, because Chandler uses certain things to gain distance and time
To recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would try to do that with Tony. He does this bounce, and he'll bounce up and down, and he kind of do this kind of thing with his footwork, and then he'll re-engage. And Tony kept marching him down when he would do it and get into his grill and make him have to come back quicker than he wanted, which was good for Tony. Now Tony got taken down, and that was a change in the round, and he did get hit. He landed some good shots from underneath, but the heavier shots are definitely landed by Chandler.
Yeah.
If you look at it, Chandler squeaks the round by, but Tony was fighting well. Tony was really fighting well, and this is the whole thing, Josh, is you look and you go, okay, he's 0-4 in his last 4. And you and I had even talked about, I think it's the end of, with Tony and I'm not saying it's the end. And when I say the end, I'm saying maybe the UFC is going to say, we don't want to pay you what we're paying you if you're not winning fights. But you got to look and say, man, he's only fighting fucking killers.
That's true.
He's every loss, those 4 losses, every one of those guys was in the top 5.
Yeah.
So you can't take anything from him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I continue to go back to the simple fact of the matter is that he's fought all the top guys. He's at that age.
Yeah.
And the lightweights, 37, 38, is that it's hard. It's hard to fight.
Speed starts
the
to
speed,
change.
the power, that small tendon strength of these younger guys. It's just, you feel it when you get in there, and you've got to have a come to Jesus talk with yourself. It's a hard conversation to have with yourself in the mirror. You know, and I had it several times with myself, you know, sometimes after training, you know, in the locker room, just thinking to myself, sitting down. And you got to, the reason why I say this is when I fought Tony, I was almost 38. I think I was going to be 38 in 2 months. So I was almost 38 when I fought Tony. And that is the type of fight that I saw him fight against Justin Gaethje.
Yeah. Where
he just took shots and just being slower. Like your body doesn't take it as well, you get hit. What you have to remember is when you start to get older, right? You take the shot, and all of a sudden it's like things are kind of like daisy. Like it's
Daisy?
Like
You mean hazy?
Hazy, daisy, jossism, same shit. Okay, but
We got a new one. Podcast
Daisy.
Dave. Let's put daisies.
Things are moving a little bit. It seems like things are moving a little bit too fast, and you're having a hard time keeping up.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, he's over there. Oh shit, I'm getting hit. Oh shit, he's over here. I'm getting the feeling that that's kind of where he's at right now because I already went through it. You know, and I like Tony a lot. I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about him, man. The kid,
I love
kid, he's a fucking fighter. You know, but there comes a time where you have to start looking out for yourself. Now, does he want to just keep doing it because he loves it and wants to get paid a lot of money? Have at it. But I also look at guys, you know, like for myself, I always fought some of the best guys, and I didn't want to go backwards and start fighting the up-and-comers. I didn't want to be a gatekeeper, so I was like, all right, I'm done. You know, I'm cool just walking away. I don't know what Tony's thinking, but I think he's still got a lot left in the tank, but not against the top-level guys. Not right now. He's got to get a couple wins, I think, and I think he can do that. I wouldn't mind watching him fight Joe Lazon, Jim Miller. I wouldn't mind watching those fights.
No.
Is Jim Miller at 45 now?
No.
Is
Jim
it
Miller's still
55?
at 155.
So I wouldn't mind watching. Like, let's go. Let's have a little bit of the, you know, him and Cerrone. You know, let's run that one. You know what I mean? Like, there's guys in there that I think could, you know, get him a win or get it. I'm not saying he can beat those guys either. You never know on fight day. But there's guys I want to get him out of the top 10, get him someone in the top 15, or get him someone just outside of the top 15, somewhere in there. Get him some guys that, you know, he can take a breather and refocus. So,
but off of that loss,
Yeah.
off of that knockout, Tony, you need to take some time away.
Yeah, that's true.
Give yourself a chance to heal up, man. Don't get back into training right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get into sparring. Don't get into doing anything that, you know, taxes your brain. You got hurt.
Yeah.
I know you're not feeling hurt, but you did. And take the time, brother.
Yeah, I mean, we said the same thing. Look, we said the same thing to Alex Polizzi.
Oh, yeah.
Told him, too, because after his fight with Yoel Romero, we said, look, dude,
Told his coaches.
take your time.
Do not let him come back.
Don't go training. Don't go sparring. Don't go running. Don't go reading.
Don't read books.
Don't read books. Don't try and do hard math problems. Okay, like 2 + 2. Don't do that. Okay, like stay away from things like that. So, yeah. Okay, so next fight.
We had OSP and Shogun Rua.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I wasn't saying it was a boring fight because I actually didn't watch it. I was asleep. I fell asleep during that fight. I fell right before
This is one of those fights where, again, I go back to the coaches and I go, why are you telling your fighter he won that round? You don't know.
Got it.
Okay, it's a close round. I'm not saying that, you know, when you're sitting in the coach's seat with your guy in there, you always have to figure that everything that your fighter is doing, you're giving a little bit more credence to it. It's a little bit better than it actually is. And everything the opponent does is not quite as good as maybe it really is. And you can't judge a fight that way. And they're telling their fighters, you know, Shogun's, you know, corner, right, you know, comes back and it's first, okay, that's our round. And I'm like, wow. You're really confident there because it was basically, you know, 50-50, and I don't know why you're saying that. And it shows on the judge's scorecard. One judge gave every round to OSP. And so you look and you go, why are you doing that? I thought that OSP, he looked good in the fact that, you know, he was able to at least get some of his counters in. He was able to control, you know, who after the first round as far as pushing him back and stuff. But we're not seeing the same Shogun Hua that we used to see. And it's not even close. And we're not seeing the same OSP as we used to see.
No. We knew that.
So I don't have a problem with this kind of fight as far as, you know, both of them they're at the ends of their careers and stuff. They're, you know, in that stage where they're both older, and it's okay when you have two older fighters that are slowed down fighting each other. This is the kind of fight I want to see if I'm going to see these guys fight. And it was a close fight. You know, Hua could have come away with the victory. I think he thought he won, and part of that is based upon his coaches telling him he's winning rounds. They got to stop doing that, man. You got to tell your fighter, hey, man, we need more. I need more output out of you. We're going to say that we lost that round. We don't know what these judges are thinking, because when it's a close round, it can go either way. You know, I didn't expect a ton out of the fight. I actually thought that Shogun looked better than I expected him to look as far as his offense. You know, and he's always good at, you know, trying to come forward and land stuff. His kicks are always hard, but he ends up taking shots that he shouldn't take. And he was able to avoid a lot of those. He was able to avoid a lot of them. So, but it was a close fight and a good win for OSP. It's nice to see him get the win and stuff, but, you know, one of those fights where it could have gone either way.
Well, Dana said he's going to warrant. I think he's got one more fight left on his contract, so he's like, "Yeah, we'll go ahead and let him fight it out and see what he wants to do from there."
Well, he said he wanted two more, so
he's only got one more left.
Yep, one more left. Randy Brown against Chaos Williams. Man, I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a good way to open it up. You know, it was supposed to be Donald Cerrone against Joe Lozon. That fell through because Donald got sick, and, you know, there's nothing you can do about that. Well, it happens, shit, you know.
Don't go eating sushi, man.
Oh, dude.
It was tacos.
I don't know what he ate, but
It was tacos. It was tacos.
Tacos. Okay, you should never be eating tacos, barbecued ribs, or sushi before fights.
This is I go to this all the time. Unless you were eating that your whole camp, don't go and eat that after you've made weight. Yeah. Your body doesn't process it the same way because you've been eating clean for the 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Maybe he's been eating tacos regularly. I don't know. Yeah. But you're not getting the tacos from the same place you got them from when you were training in your camp. You know, like, you know, those people know the same tacos. You don't know how they're cooking their meat. You eat it from a taco truck? Where'd you get? You know?
I don't know where he got it, but I feel bad for him.
I know.
I really the part that really, I know this is weird, but, you know, he had talked so much about, hey, this is the first time his son was going to be there, and he wanted his son to see him, and then he wasn't able to go do that, wasn't able to perform, and I was like, oh man, I feel.
His son will be a little bit older.
I feel so bad for him. They're just going to redo the fight, but it would have been cool for him with the crowd, because, you know when he walks out, the crowd just electrifies. He's that guy that they all get behind.
Yeah,
who doesn't like Cowboy?
His son's been to his fights.
No.
Like when he was really young.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about Danger, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But first time his son's going to understand it, because he's talked to him about it and stuff like that. Oh. So, but Randy Brown and Chaos Williams, I thought, wow, they really fought a great fight. Chaos Williams he's got power as far as he can change a fight in a moment's notice, because Randy Brown is a hard dude to fight as far as how long he is, and he's got a great jab. He's got a good ground game. He's got everything. 6'3".
Oh, why did I think 6'8"?
6'3" at welterweight is pretty tall.
Yeah, that's true. Remember what's his name? The kid that broke his leg real bad. He was 6'3" at
Corey Hill.
6'3" at 145.
Oh, he was 6'4" at 155.
45.
Yeah, 155.
Was he?
Yeah.
I thought he was.
I don't think he could get to 145.
No, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Paul Williams.
Oh, Paul Williams.
Remember the boxer?
Yeah.
He was.
No, he fought him at middleweight. But I think he did fight at welterweight.
He fought at 147. He fought Margarito.
Yeah.
I was there at that fight.
Yeah, he fought at 147, but he also fought middleweight.
Got it.
But but Corey Hill was ungodly tall for 155 pounds.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, this is one of those fights. You know, I love the fact that Chaos Williams' corner was, you know, hey man, you got to go after him. So doing the right thing, saying, we don't know how this is. I think he got that round. You need this round. Randy Brown's corner kind of doing the same thing. Randy Brown getting put down and then coming back after it and putting a really good round on. That fight could have gone either way too. You know, neither guy should feel bad about, you know, the fight as far as the loss. For Chaos, you fought your butt off. You know, you went out there and you did everything you could to try to get that win. And so
there's certain fights, I should say, where both fighters' stock doesn't go down.
yeah.
And
that one I don't think
yeah.
Chaos Williams, his stock doesn't go down at all.
All right, well, hey, that's gonna wrap up our UFC.
No, it's not.
That's gonna wrap up our UFC.
Yes,
talk.
it is.
But that's gonna wrap those things up. But then we're gonna actually talk real quick about the Canelo fight.
Ooh,
And John,
Canelo versus Bivol. Man, like, you know, this is one of those things, and this is why I say Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest fighter of all time. A guy that went from 130 pounds all the way up to 175. Canelo Alvarez, great fighter. Not enough output. Bivol too big, too long. I thought Bivol actually did the better work. The volume added up. And I thought the volume off of, you know, just touching Alvarez. Alvarez going after the bigger shots, but not always landing them, not being successful, not having the output. And he was just getting outpointed in the fight. I thought the judges were correct. I mean, I heard a lot of people were, oh, no. And then I heard people thinking, no, it should have been more. I thought the judges, all three of them, I think had it 115, 113. I actually think they're right.
yeah, but the thing is, Canelo's output has never been a lot. He'll hit you with some combinations, and then he kind of relaxes for a second, and then he comes back in. He did the same thing with Triple G. Done the same thing with several other fights.
I think he was looking at this like kind of like when he fought Kovalev.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually I'll get to you, and I'm gonna hurt you with power.
Yeah.
He was never able to really get to him.
But that's, like I said, he is a patient fighter. He waits for the openings. They just never came.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get it done. But hey, overall, look.
Are we gonna see it again?
Yes.
Yes.
He's already came out and said he wants a rematch.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But here, for me, it's the weight class.
Payday.
I think he's got to go back down.
Payday.
It's too heavy for him.
You
John.
want the payday?
He's not a big guy.
He's not.
He's not a big guy. So.
At all.
All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our show. While we are here in Paris, France, stick with us. We're going to be doing another show in the midweek show here, but we'll be in London for that show. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
We travel countries to bring our show to you.
Yes, we do. And for all you people over here in the UK that are hardcore MMA fans, I got a lot of respect for you guys now. Understanding what you guys got to go through to watch these fights live. Freaking horrible. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you guys so much. And make sure you guys go to mybookie.ag, use that promo code WayneIn, and
go to Breathe Fume, because that is a great product, especially if you're a smoker. For everyone watching, thank you for watching the show. We hope you enjoyed. Watch Bellator on Friday. Watch the UFC on Saturday. We will talk about those fights on our next show. Do something good for someone. Make somebody's day special. I don't care what it is. Just try to make it so someone has a better day. And we will see you.